South Africa's confidence had been dented by their loss to the West Indies, so nothing less than an emphatic victory over Kenya would do. And they got it, but at a heavy price.
That's it.
Jonty Rhodes, a mainstay in the middle order for a decade and maybe the best fieldsman in the game, threw himself at a drive and broke his hand. X-rays later confirmed that his own World Cup was over. In perfect conditions, Herschel Gibbs and Gary Kirsten got themselves some valuable batting practice.
Well, he's hit it all the way down to the boundary. It won't go. It'll bounce away to the boundary for 4. And that is the end of that. Well, the South Africans have registered yet another 10-wicket victory. They did it against India in '99. They beat Bangladesh by 10 wickets in 2001. And here now in the 2003 World Cup, they've taken the Kenyans to the cleaners.
This was only the 4th World Cup match to be swept by 10 wickets. The home supporters could look forward to critical games with New Zealand and Sri Lanka with renewed confidence. The last of the non-Test nations to make an appearance were the Dutch, and their all-rounder Tim de Leede had a fantastic day out, getting Tendulkar amongst others. India were all out for 204, but their bowling was too strong.
That's edged and taken. Virender Sehwag making no mistake. Srinath striking in his first over. And he gets his 300th wicket.
Well, that's the worst possible start for Holland, but celebrations for India and Javagal Srinath in particular. 300 wickets, what a milestone for him. Kloppenberg had been very tentative around that off stump. Srinath probing that line, and a very good catch taken at second slip by Virender Sehwag.
The Indians hardly seemed likely to threaten the favourites with this sort of form. Still, they could take heart from the efforts of the old workhorses, Srinath and Anil Kumble, and those inevitable runs from Tendulkar. The question of whether England would play their match in Zimbabwe had been an ongoing controversy of the Cup's first week. In the end, the Englishmen stayed away, citing security reasons and leaving the jilted hosts with the points and a place at the top of Pool A. Nasser Hussain's England team could now afford no slip-ups if they wanted to reach the second phase. With no cricket in Zimbabwe, World Cup watchers' eyes moved to the glorious Eastern Cape for a vitally important match in Pool B. Having made the decision not to travel to Nairobi to play Kenya, the Black Caps had to win.
That's through the gap, and that brings up the 50 partnership, 53 from just 43 balls, and the New Zealand tail has well and truly wagged.
New Zealand had once again shown they were as tenacious as any team in the game. Had the West Indies thrown away a great opportunity with some lax bowling in the final overs? Now, as ever, the key Windies wicket was Lara. Who could have predicted what would happen to him first ball? Vincent's relay throw was to Cairns.
Gone! He's gone! Lara's run out going for a third. New Zealanders are jumping. It's Chris Cairns who's throwing him out. What a blow! Lara coming for the third. And the New Zealanders feel that they have the key wicket, which they do. Well, why on earth would you want to take the risk like this? He's not even close. He's not even in the picture. Gone. Hines goes. Good catch by Starris in there. Hauled it down over his head. Hines trying to clear him. West Indies have lost 3 wickets in very quick succession. They're 42 for 3. Down there, he's gone straight into the hand of long leg. Carl Hooper, another soft wicket for the West Indies. Straight to Bond, 46 for 4. he finishes the match with his 4th wicket. New Zealand have scored a victory, which is absolutely essential for their progress in this competition.
In truth, this was a game the West Indies had ample chances to win. They could at least take some comfort from the classy batting of Ramnaresh Sarwan, indeed, a rising star. New Zealand, meanwhile, were now right back in what had become a very crowded Pool B picture. With Kenya guaranteed points from their match with the Black Caps, it was impossible to predict who would go through and who would not. Chaminda Vaas wasted no time helping his country's cause, but pity those latecomers who missed the game's first over. Here's the first ball of the day. Vaas to Hanan Saka.
Bowls in first ball, excellent delivery. As you can see the movement coming in, beautiful shape, and the batsman going for a very extravagant looking drive, paying the penalty. The ball going right between bat and pad and knocking that off stump off.
Second ball to Mohammad Ashraful.
Second wicket. What a start for the Sri Lankans. 2 wickets in a row for Chaminda Vaas. The ball stopping on Mohammad Ashraful. Once again pushing at the ball very hard. And the ball scooped in the air. Easy catch for Chaminda Vaas. What a game he's having.
Third ball to Ahsanul Haq.
The Sri Lankans all round hovering. Oh, it's gone, it's a hat-trick! A great start for Chaminda Vaas. What an effort this is. The ball taking the outside edge, flying to Mahela Jayawardene in slip. And Chaminda Vaas, he's created a world record here. A hat-trick in the first 3 deliveries in a one-day international, and that in the World Cup.
Never before had a bowler taken a hat-trick with the first 3 balls of a one-day international. Fourth ball, Sanwar Hossain had the audacity to hit Vaas for 4. Then there was a wide, and then things rather returned to normal.
Huge shout, and he's gone. 4th wicket. What an over this is turning out to be.
After such a terrible start, Bangladesh did well to make 124 against Vaas and Murali. But such a score was never going to be enough against the batting lineup so powerful as Sri Lanka's. After 2 wins, they were Pool B's form team. But would they be able to sustain such dominance against the West Indies and South Africa? Still in Pool B, an intriguing match. Could Canada build on their first-up win, or would Kenya enhance their claim for Test match status?
It's all over. The last ball of the 49th over claims the 10th wicket, and Canada bowled out 1 over light for 197. Codrington, the last man out, giving Thomas Adoyo his 4th wicket. Excellent figures for Adoyo. 4 for 28. That's a career best for him, an economy rate of just 2.8.
In the end, the Canadian total wasn't quite enough, despite the efforts of John Davidson, a South Australian-based Vancouver-born off-spinner, who conceded just 1.5 runs per over. With this win and the up-and-down form of many of their rivals, the Kenyans could truly start dreaming of a place in the Super Six. All they needed was one big win. Now, here's one of the most anticipated matches of the first phase. Could the Indian batsman rise to this Australian occasion?
Oh, that's out, that's caught behind. Yes, he's got him, caught behind. That's the end of Sourav Ganguly, going for the big booming back foot drive through the offside field. There's an edge there, and it's gone through to the wicketkeeper. Well, that's the wicket they wanted.
Gillespie's been magnificent into his 8th over, 2 for 8, as have all the Australian fast bowlers. McGrath was steady, 1 for 23. Brett Lee, 2 for 17 as bowling, as well as I've seen him bowl. Brett Lee. Oh, that's a big shout, and he's given him. That's a slower ball from Gillespie. That is beautifully bowled. 144 the ball before, the big Yorker to Mongia, and now the slower ball, and he's got the prize wicket of Tendulkar.
Off spinner going on to hit middle stump, a little high on the stumps, but have a look at Tendulkar. He's just watching the ball. He knows the moment the ball hit the pads that he was in trouble. Great bowling.
Oh, and he's hit the stumps. I think that's gone. Yes, up goes the finger. The Australians are alive and well here. Every opportunity that is presented, they take.
But for Harbhajan's hitting at the end, India might not have even reached 100. The Australians were relentless, and Matthew Hayden and Adam Gilchrist didn't back off at all when it came their turn to bat.
Again takes the aerial